1.
Hi, hello everybody. This is the IMF World Bank Annual Meeting 2024, and we're still in our interviews. And here with me is Ambassador Junisa Kallon from Sierra Leone. He's the Director of Association of Sierra Leone and also the founder of Junisa Investment Company. Welcome, Ambassador Junisa.
Yes, welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much. How does it feel to be attending this annual meeting of the World Bank IMF 2024?
First off, I want to say thank you very much for having me for this interview, and my congratulations and greetings goes to the managing director for the IMF for inviting me here. This is short slice. I've been here since 2015. I've been coming back and forth to the IMF, and in this year's capacity, I'm attending this meeting as the African Tourism Board Ambassador first. And I'm serving as Director General for the Association in Sierra Leone and Youth Association in Sierra Leone, which is a non-profit organization with economic and social cancer status, United Nations. And third, and not the least, that is me serving as Chief Executive Officer of a Junior Investments Company. So in this three diverse capacity, I've been trying my level best to see that we not only enhance amplification of youth participation and representation from the Republic of Sierra Leone, but also see how we can further consolidate resource mobilization, learn about the mechanisms, the platforms in which we can enhance funding for the Global South, for the Republic of Sierra Leone, for strategic initiative, employment opportunities for young people in the Republic of Sierra Leone. So in my capacity as African Tourism Board Ambassador, I'm here to see throughout my presentation, engagement, to see how we amplify tourism as an enabling tool to drive socio-economic change within Africa and within the Republic of Sierra Leone, with the Youth Association in Sierra Leone, YASIL. I'm also trying to see through the various sessions that has to deal with youth employment, creating green economic jobs, to see how we can learn new ways that can help the government of Sierra Leone and the private sector combine to enhance strategic capacity building, because we've learned over time that if people don't have the expertise for the ready market, there's going to be a far-fetched approach, and then people will still continue to say there are no jobs available. On the private sector angle, I'm trying to see how we can further also engage PPP, public-private partnership, to enhance strategic investment opportunities to be rolled out in the Republic of Sierra Leone through Junior Investments Company. So these approaches are my core mandates, and the reason why my participation has been here. I've been here since Monday, and I'll be here till tomorrow, the finish line, and then jet out to Freetown.
So you talk about in your role as the African Tourism Board member ambassador, you talk about the challenges. What do you, in your personal opinion, what do you think some of the opportunities that you can engage and work with the youth on a personal level?
Well, on a personal level, the tourism sector is far reached. However, you need the requisite tool to expand on the existing opportunities within the sector. Starters, we're looking at SMEs, right, within the tourism space. People who manage resorts, touristic entertainment, or complex. How can these platforms be utilized to not only be an economic driving tool for them as owners, but also a space where people can come, learn cultural traits of the respective member states within the touristic angle, learn about how diversified our we're culturally embedded in each other, and see what tools are being used within these member states that can drive socio-economic change and reform. So from an African Tourism Board perspective, it's not only about resource mobilization, which is a priority for African Tourism Board, but also to get an economic empowerment tool to drive social change with tourism as a focal outlet, right? And on a personal level, as you requested, I'm trying my best as African Tourism Board Ambassador to the Republic of Sierra Leone to give enablement to all the young, upcoming representation from the Republic of Sierra Leone. That is vividly seen in the choice of appointment. I want to acknowledge my chairman, who took it upon himself to appoint me as the ambassador designated to the Republic of Sierra Leone. I want to appreciate him, because if he did not take up the challenge to see how they can empower a young person as myself with such diplomatic credentials to improve not only representation of the organization, but also the workspace in itself to deliver the core mandate of the African Tourism Board. But also, we can also see that we, in continuation in that capacity, prove that yes, we are more than ready as young people to A, deliver, B, also create more enabling environment for other young people coming after us or our peers, and not leaving out those who are well experienced and vastly knowledge in the space to learn from.
So congratulations for all the amazing work you have been doing in the international platform,
Thank you.
representing the Sierra Leonean youth and also the African youth.
Thank you.
What was your early inspiration into leadership while starting this journey?
Well, initially I'm very grateful for the parents that I have, B, the community I grew up in, C, the academics, because my school, high school, played a major role, the Sierra Leone Grammar School, shout out to that, because it's a competitive environment. You have to understand that Africa should drop the entitlement notion that you're entitled, so X, Y, and Z should work in your favor. You have to walk up the ladder, as in our motto, Dayokwai pursue. You have to press on. You have to ensure that in as much as you want to create change, you're not creating change from a noisy perspective or a noisy background. You have to create change that can last and impact that can outlive you. We have that in several examples on the continent. Magufuli, the late president of Tanzania, Mandela, South Africa, Gaddafi, who is now late. We only see some of the impact. Kwame Nkrumah, what's the other man? This other guy from Ghana as well.
Canada.
None of that. We've seen how so many trailblazers before us have left major footprints in the sand times. Okay, in the times of sand, and then we want to see how we can further emulate and expand on those footprints that can bring the necessary economic and social change in our various communities. The world is globalized. You cannot work in isolation. I cannot say I'm way better than anybody from my coast, which is the West Coast. I rather have a working relationship that can further enhance sustainable change, and this change can drive economic empowerment. Economic empowerment can be a robust in the economic growth of the country, the region itself, through the respective opportunities being created. Out here, I've learned about green jobs and how the IMF and World Bank is moving that trajectory to expand more and diversify its resources into economic growth, gearing from green jobs. So we have to take a look. How is that embedded within our national plan? How is that embedded within our structural mandates as MDAs of government, as private sector, as public sector, etc., etc.?
So, the Junova Investment Company, what was your motivation in creating that, and what is the long-term vision for your company?
Junova Investment Company is a private sector establishment I established in 2013. Okay, first started off as a consultancy. Now we have expanded to a diversified investment portfolio. We have agricultural investment. We have 100 acres ongoing back home, which is a private sector establishment owned by private entities. However, we are on the managing front to ensure that these farms are currently operational. We're also looking at opportunities to expand in the agricultural sector through foreign direct investment, loans from the IMF, or grants that can be applicable for us to enhance on our current subsistence farming to a full-scale mechanized farming. Junisa Investment Company, we're also looking at how can we drive economic empowerment for the Republic of Sierra Leone, because it's not only about we giving return on investment dividend to our shareholders, but also create an environment as a private sector establishment from the Republic of Sierra Leone that is driving a global clandestine investment drive, right? And we want to see how we project the Republic of Sierra Leone globally in whatever scale possible. So we have investment opportunities in the tourism sector, wherein we're proposing, with the availability of land, which we own, to expand on foreign direct real estate in development in reference to a water park resort, which is currently on the way. Last December, I was fortunate to be in India to see what works. We had some engagements with some investors from India and see what really we want to do with foreign direct investments from India. And more or less, we grabbed some few investments and incentives for SMEs. I want to give reference to Upesh Consultants in that direction, because he also played a major stake and a major role in enhancing that working relationship with Junisa Investment Company and foreign direct investors from India. From that angle, we also moved out to Europe. We want to see how we also plunge into EU foreign direct investment platform. And the European Union has been a very vital partner, a vital tool, and we've been in several meetings. We've been privileged to speak at several high-level engagements and meet with foreign direct investment. In the coming weeks, I'll be in Bahrain for the World Angel Investment Forum, WUBAF, serving as an international partner for Sierra Leone. And follow up from that, in December, I'm going to a Global Investment Forum in Dubai on the invite of our brother from Ghana. And we want to see how all of these platforms are vitally utilized, not only as an economic mobilization tool, but the platform where you promote the continent. Because end of the day, on the broader scale, it's about Africa. On a minor scale, it's about the country I'm from, the Republic of Sierra Leone. And on an actualization scale, it's about the private sector entity and the investors behind the scene.
Okay, so if a young person in the African and diaspora here want to work with another person from the continent, how would you advise them? What some of the opportunities and programs that young African people can work between them?
First off, the young people have to learn to have the patience to learn a certain set skill and trade. Investment is not developed overnight. Nobody who has been a billionaire today just woke up and became a billionaire. Facebook ran for a certain amount of years without making any amount of profit. We also see that other strategic investments that are upcoming, driving tools like the Tony Million Foundation, I must give a shout out to them, and Tony Million in person for helping the continent with entrepreneurship funding, right? We see how seed capitals as $5,000 has made those investments grow into multinational investments in various countries across Africa. So you gotta start small. You have to also respect that you have to learn to start small, start where you are and with what you have. Expand on that. You need to have a repetitive approach of your investment tools, funding and finance, right? And with reference to networking, we should stop the energy of seeing ourselves as competitors. Rather, come together as brothers and sisters from the same continent and beyond to do a fantastic job within either the private sector or the non-profit sector or government. So with more consolidation to the approach, we have AFTEC, right? The Free Continental Trade Agreement. That is a very vital tool which can improve on trade and investment and which can unify cooperation between member states and young people. So I give that as a major giveaway. Go back, study whatever you want to be, become a masterpiece, and then see how that works out for you.
Okay, great. How would you envision the next upcoming African leader, like those examples you have mentioned, Nelson Mandela and Nana Adda? What would the upcoming young African leader look like?
Again, it's all relative to the approach, it's relative to the learning pace, it's relative to the risk you're ready to take. Because Africa, youth need to leave their comfort zone. You need to step out your comfort zone. You need to ensure that it's a process of learning. It's a continuous learning process. And as long as you are continuously learning, you are never at a loss. You are never at a loss. However, we have to stop and cut down on major exploitation of skyrocketing economic growth, etc., etc. Learn and be prepared to make mistakes as much as possible and see them as a process of learning and improving yourself.
Okay, so just have to say, how do you manage your time between your company, doing your tourism, being a youth ambassador? How do you find time for that?
I sleep 4 hours every day. It's a private sector right there. I sleep 4 hours daily. 20 hours split out into work. This has been advised, it's unhealthy. It all depends relatively as to what kind of work you do. I don't do heavy lifting, so I know within 18 to 20 hours, I can manage myself properly, serve within my diplomatic role, serve within my non-profit executive role, serve within my company or corporation engagement. So all of these are things that I think we can work on.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Wish you a safe flight.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Thank you.
Next year in Diamond Visa. Thank you.
Got it. I think I need to catch her. That's the director of EU.
Okay.
Do I have full?
Let's go with him.